Welcome, everybody. My name is Mark McGrain. I am the Assistant Council Commissioner for Great Falls Council, responsible for some of the technology that we use in here. Tonight, we're going to be covering our event registration and site reservation system. So, when we go to register for events, how we have our accounts, we use those accounts, how we can register for different events, make payments, sign up for merit badges, change people, even go back to some of those reports. And same thing with our, if you want to rent a campsite, we'll be covering that as well. Uh, in this council, we will be using a system called Black Pug, and that is the event registration software that we use in the name of it. The nice thing with that is if you've ever used Black Pug before, the account that you had then is still the same account you use here. If you go to another council and you go to register for one of their events or their summer camp or something along that line, and you see that they use Black Pug, which you'll know because it all looks the same, um, your account stuff will still work there, and you'll have access to your rosters as well. So it's a very nice system that gives us quite a few features on there as well. Um, so, as I said before, we do have everybody on mute. If you have a question, you are welcome to use the chat room on here, and I will answer those just as quickly as I can. I will make sure that I am looking across for the chats that come up. And of course, feel free to unmute yourself to ask a question at the same time because it is a small group with us tonight. So with that, I am going to get started right off with a screen share on here. So what we're looking at here is the current Five Rivers Council site. And come November 1st, this will be the Great Falls Council site with a new web address. But the basic format and features here are going to be the same. So to get to your account, whether you're creating one for the first time or you want to register for an event or you're going back in because you want to pay for an event or make changes, or say during summer camp, you want to go in and when it comes time for merit badge sign up, or you want to make a payment or whatnot, you can come right to the website. And right here at the top, we have account login. That will take you directly to our account system. You can also get to the account system by if you come to calendar. I'm just going to click on the calendar while it loads up. And you have an event down here. And if you were to click onto an event, and we are just going to, let's see, let's get into November because most of these events are over with being in here. So we have this OA event here. So if I come on here, it opens up the event, and right up here at the top is a sign in. So you can click on that and then put in your email password. If you forgot your password, it will help you find that. And if you don't have an account, you can register for an account here. We are going to come in just through this account login, and starts off the same way on there. So register account. I'm going to show it but not complete it because I have one in here. So you can see that it has, first name, last name, email, and then you type in a password and build it off of that. And then you register for it. Now, the interesting part with this is if you have an email here already, if you had one and forgot that you had an account, it will actually tell you that it's found an account and to use the lost password. If you didn't have one, it'll automatically do it. And send you the confirmation email to validate the email account. The other part that this system has is we upload our council membership data to it once a month. And what that does is it gives you access to your roster. You'll see how easy that works when we go to register for an event. Instead of typing in everybody's name, you can just click on the roster details. That is automatically associated to your email address when you registered. So what your current thing is under My Desk Scouting, and if you are a Key 3 member. So committee chair, charter rep, and primary unit leader. So Cub Master, Scout Master, advisor. We can add other people to that. So if in your unit, maybe you're the assistant Scout Master, but you take care of all the registrations for events. We can add you. All you need to do is have someone shoot me an email, one of the key three. When I say someone, a member of the key three, shoot me an email and I saying that they authorize that you're added as a delegate, and I will be happy to add you onto that. So email me that and I'll tie you in. So that was building an account. Now let's look at using it and some of the features that are here before we get into an event registration. So right here was the account login page, which you also get by going to an event. So if I want to sign in, which I encourage everyone to do prior to going to an event or when you go into the event, it gives you a lot of historical data, makes it easier to go in and make payments, make changes. You don't have to do it just by the receipt. Now, in Black Pug, you can do it just by the receipt. So they'll send you, after you register for an event, it'll send you a receipt that has a registration number on it, which is a link. And you can click on that link and go directly into your registration. If you lose the email or delete the email, we can send it to you, but it's going to be a delay. So much the better to log in. So here I am logged in, because it has my name up here. If I come in, so we have view activity, which is showing some of our past activities. We'll get to this. Edit a selected roster. So this is the rosters that I have access to. So you will all have my roster. My roster is if you create your own personal one. Why would you create your own personal one? Well, I'm going to use me as an example. So, um, my family is involved in scouting. We go on events, and my nephew is involved in scouting, and he is in a different unit. So I created a roster which has my nephew's information into it. So that way, if he is joining my troop or my family on one of the events, I have his information in there and can automatically put it in there without having to type it all in. So we're going to, if you want to use one of these rosters, then it's just clicking on the roster. You can see put a little check mark on there. You will see when we get to editing an event or putting registering for an event, this will let me select anybody, adult or youth, from that roster. And we'll see that. Import is if you want to import a my roster. So if you type it all up on a Excel spreadsheet and want to import it, you can do it that way. Or of course, you can just edit the selected. You cannot edit the ones that we upload because we do upload these things. Profile is changing your contact information on here. Um, so if you update your email, phone number, things like that, you want to change your password, it would be through here as well and take care of that. We do update the emails, like I said, through the my.scouting system. But once your account's created, you're going to want to go in and change the email for this if you want that to be there. Realize that you if your email is tied to your unit association and you change it in the unit but didn't change it here, you're going to lose the unit association as a delegate until you change it to that. It is a smart system. It catches up with whenever we change email addresses on here. And of course, you can log out when you're done. So let's take a look at my view my activity. So this is showing all the activity under the Troop 84B. It's what I had here. So we can see events that we have registered for. So look, I have a registration for a camp, a test camp, right? And automatically I can come right here and print out merit badge reports for scouts that are signed up. Here is my partial day. Here is our last year's summer camp. So we can go through and get into any one of these. So for example, if I click on this partial day, and that's all I did was click on it, it shows when it was booked. I did it, how many participants, the email, and I can go into view the registration. And here I can edit the registration right from here. Now the event's closed. This is why I can't edit it. But from here, I can make changes to people if I needed to. I can make payments. I can run any of the reports. So if you needed to run an advancement report after, say, summer camp is over with, you could go in here and do it. If you needed to bring a printed out version of the roster, you can print roster if that's an available report here. We do kind of tailor the reports for the different events that are going on here. So this is how I come into those. Um, and you can see right along the top that these are different tabs. It opened up a new tab. So if I just wanted to look at it and don't think anything else, I can go to here for Mark, view activity. I could even change the roster to take a look at what's going on. Um, so registration details is the registration details for the event that I am in. Okay. So we're going to close this event out and back to our main looking at our account. So we're on here and you can see that it has some options now along the top because we went to activities. So if I come to activities with the drop down, again, I can change what group I'm looking at. So I could switch over to here and it's now refreshing with the girl troop that I have and what registrations are in there. Um, and that's what this one is for. It's just from flipping between your different registrations. And I know what some of you are going to ask is like, so can I see everything my troop is registered for? Well, only if you're the one who did the registration. These reports are tied into who did the registration. So as of right now, they don't have a way to share this detail with somebody else, and it's a security reason. Is this system allows us to collect a variety of information, such as payment information. Not that we do it, but the system does allow for driver's license, social security numbers, things like that. We don't use those features, but because it does that, it locks all the information to the person who created the registration. So you can't get into even though it's the same unit, it can't, somebody else can't get into that registration. So under the roster, if I come to this, we can see what roster we have in there. Now, it's really telling you here's what's going to show up on here, right? Here's what's going to show up on the rosters as far as the data goes, right? And you can go in and change some of this, right? Like some of this cannot be changed because we do the updates. You could make changes to rank or leadership positions if you want to keep this up to date. But it's not the area for um, making a lot of these changes, like the address, phone number, city of people in here. It just tells you what's going to show up if it's being used in here. Um, Same thing, the blue versus the red. Red is an adult, blue is a youth. Just it's a quick visual reference for that. So, in case you're wondering why somebody didn't show up, you can always look at the roster. Now, I'm going to tell you one of the common questions I get about this is Joey Tenderfoot isn't on my roster, but he's in my troop. When did Joey Tenderfoot join? Oh, he came onto our roster effective the 15th of this month. Well, we do our updates at the end of every month. So if he wasn't there at the end of last month, he won't show up until the end of this month. And then he'll be part of our membership uploads. He'll be somebody that you can select. So for just that time during the month, you're gonna have to type somebody in if they've joined in that period of time. So import would really be if you want to import, you can't do your own roster because we do this, but if you wanted to do the my roster, a personal roster, you can do that. Sample file shows you the format that it needs to be in. Profile is just a quick access to you, and you can make your changes through here to you. And of course, I can log out. So you can also get to our council calendar right up at the top there. Council calendar, it comes up. You can change the way it looks. It's showing what they call V cards, visual cards, in a format here, and it just keeps going across for the different ones you want. And then you can click on the details, and it's bringing you to the event to register if it's a registration type of event. So you can find events from here as well. Um, so this system does allow, right, has in there the memory for it. So we're going to go close this one back out. We're going to go back here to the council calendar. And we are going to go back to, let's go to this OA day. Okay. You'll see it. It remembers I'm logged in. It doesn't matter how I got in. It remembers that I'm logged in right now. So I don't have to log in just because I changed screens on this. So that works out really well. It doesn't matter if you're coming in to do a bunch of work. It's going to remember as you're bouncing around, whether I went to the calendar and did an event, and now I'm going to go over and manage an account of make a payment on summer camp or whatever. It will remember that you are in and ready to go for all of that. So um, let's take a look at registering for something here. So this is a test of summer camp. And the reason I chose this is summer camp is different from a lot of the other events as it has a deposit phase. So we're going to look at two versions of summer camp here, but they all work the same. So for those who haven't used event registration before through Black Pug, again, since I'm logged in, it's right up here. Otherwise, it will ask you. And I'll show you this. I'm going to log out here. Right now, it's under sign in. You always have some type of a description here. Up on this side tells you when and where it is at. So, this one's at Camp Gordon. There's the dates, generally check-in time, and when you're out. Click here to do it. More information. Here is a map of the event. So you could actually use that on a mapping program. If you're looking at this on your phone, click on it. I'm going to arbitrarily say Google Maps, open that up to start giving you driving directions there. It tells you here when registration closes. You can also view the pricing right here. So if you click on that, that tells you pricing, whether if they have early, regular, late, early bird pricing at this price runs through this date. Late registration starts on this. Now realize whenever we put in early and late fees, that is based on a fully paid registration. So if an event has a $20 registration fee and the late fee kicks in, say, 7 days from now, if you're fully paid before that 7 days is up, you get the early bird price, you get the regular rate. If you've registered but didn't pay or didn't pay the full thing and it's 8 days later, you have the late fee applied to you because it is based on a full payment, not a registration, not a partial payment. And that same thing holds true with early switches to regular pricing on its date. And again, early discounts apply to paid in full. So you'll be able to see the different types of registrations that are going on and any kind of fees that are there with that. A little bit farther down is the contacts. We generally put in the volunteer contact, the staff advisor, and main office area and billing information in here. Down along the bottom is if the event has any attachments, such as a leader's guide, or for summer camp, a course catalog, medical forms, things like that. We always provide attachment links right down through here. Now on summer camp, the nice thing we have here is what they call a campsite matrix. Um, Generally, starts off closed, but you can open it up and you can see campsites that are available for an event where you get to choose a campsite. Um, and these all are showing in green that nobody's in there yet. And it's reserved, but has room, so partial, and no more people can go into that campsite. So it kind of helps you plan an event, particularly useful for summer camp to help figure out where you want to be or how the weeks are looking. Most campsites are 30 people tops with no more than 2 units in there. Okay, so now we know we want to do this registration. Summer camp, no matter the summer camp, all starts off for a few months of a deposit where you put a deposit on the unit as a whole and you give us rough numbers. And that goes for a little bit. It's the one, lock in your spot, lock in a campsite, and help us figure out numbers of who is coming to help us plan. So we click on unit deposit. And if any event you do and you didn't register, it'll always say to you, you're not currently logged in. Do you want to continue as a guest or sign into your account? Well, I'm going to log in because it gives me benefits here. Show them to you. Okay, if there's any kind of registration notice, you'll see those up in here. This is what this top part is notifications on things. This is talking about the deposit, that it's non-refundable. And then what this is asking here is, how many do you think you're bringing? I mean, it gives you prices of what they're going to be, but it's not holding to anything here. It is deposit phase, so it's an estimation. It can go up or down when it comes time to finalize. So right now, I'm just going to say 4 youth and 2 adults for right now. And then unit deposit. So from here, now this is getting right into the very first thing. Since I logged in, it is assuming me. Now, I am primarily registered in the council, even though I have access to the other units. I'm a member of those units. I've set my default for the council. Council isn't an option for a summer camp deposit, so this is why I need to select a unit. If yours is tied to a unit and you put that in on your profile, it will fill this in automatically, but you always have the option to change it. Now, which is very helpful because, if you're like with me and a boy troop and a girl troop, then you're doing a registration for a boy troop, you're doing a registration for a girl troop. Those two registrations are not supposed to be combined into one because we need to be aware of our gender differences here. So I can come here to select a unit. And then if you were in somebody else's council doing a registration, you could put, no, I'm with another council. But yes, I'm here. I'm with a troop. It brings up our listing of troops, and it's a very responsive system. So I start putting in 84. It finds any of them with 84. And it could be, 84 anywhere in this 4-digit number. So we're just going to say the girl troop for now. You will see that it filled in my phone numbers on file, my email address. I just got to fill in a couple other things. It's going to fill in a lot of the information it has. So campsite preferences. Well, since we ask for it, it'll come out, tell me what's available, how many spots are available, and I'm just going to pick the very first one. And then if for some reason I don't get that, what else would I be happy with? And I'll select that. So any comments I want to make, they're asking some questions in here about trainings, but I'm not going to answer any of those right now. So click done. Now, again, it's deposit phase. So it's just asking for, at the beginning, I said 4 and 2. Is that what I want? Okay. And then I can go on to book registration. I can come down here. Okay, this is what I put down on here for this. Yeah, that's still all good. Now, I have to book this registration in order for it to apply. If I were to cancel out right now, it's not done. So I'm going to go ahead and book this registration. So from here, it will give me a drop down of the summary. That's what I did. This is how much I owe because it's $100. Am I paying the $100? Well, sure, because I want to lock my registration in and that's what's required. Cancellation policy. Have to say that you agree to it. Then it comes up with the billing information. Now, you could change this if it's different. So, for example, in my unit, we have a unit credit card. So that is not in my name or address. So I would update the billing information to who it is because I'd use the unit credit card. If I'm not doing that, then you can put in your own stuff. Down here, we have the option of paying with a credit card, and then it's just filling in the blanks, or pay by mail. Pay by mail is something that you would do you're going to go to the office. You want to call in the unit credit card because you don't want to put it online for some reason. You want to pay with the unit check, or you want to use money in your unit account and have it transferred over to cover that. All of that would be pay by mail. It's really important to note the registration number, which will be emailed to you because it helps us tie your payment when it comes in, tie it to that credit. And of course, it's giving you the address and phone number, but that will print out on the emailed receipt. So I'm going to authorize payment. Okay, everybody has been booked. An email has been sent to the registration contact. So that means I got an email about this. And it brought me right back to here in case I wanted to do it. Now you'll see it has pay the $100 unit deposit because this isn't paid yet. So what happens from here for any event, if you click pay online or pay by mail, I'm sorry, once you send a payment into us, whether you mail a check to the council office, maybe you stop by the council office and pay with a credit card, pay cash, provide a check there. Maybe you call up and say you're an authorized user of the unit account. You call up and say, hey, we want to use that $100 from our unit account. Once we get that information, we go in and credit your account your unit with the $100. And there it is. They will have that on there, and that part will disappear because it has been paid. However, let's say more people are coming. You can come back into your registration and you can adjust these counts and save the adjusted accounts. And you're fine from there. You don't even have to, after the payment of 100 has been made, you can make the adjustment and be good. You don't have to go to back to checkout again. Um, this will take care of it from here. So this is using the deposit phase. So the next one we're going to take a look at is when we have an event going on, kind of completing the registration. And I've got another one for that. And it's summer camp again. Um, so this time we're going to take a look at a full registration. So summer camp, this is all set up the same way, but summer camp has at Camp Gorton has 3 weeks. So that's where session one, session two, session three. For most events, it'll just be register or something else on the green button. So we're going to go here and click register. There's my normal messages again. Now, this is after the $100 deposit has been done, and we're ready to move forward with this. It's a regular registration time. And you can see down here it has register, not deposit. So we're going to go and we're just going to say 2 youth for now and 2 adults. And I'm going to register them. So same information as before, looks just like this. If you were going back in to edit one, then it's not going to ask you that because you've already filled it out. And let's see, we'll go with boys. Okay, campsite preference. I'm not going to make a second one. Moving through here. Okay, because it's a registration now, we have a little bit more information available to us. The screen looks a little bit different now. In the past, in the other one, you remember it just had confirming your numbers. Now it's not confirming your numbers. It's like any other registration. You need to start putting names to this. So I'm coming up here to Mark, and this was the so I'm going to come up, make sure my boy roster is selected. Now, let's look at some of these screens as we go through. I can update my own information. I could autofill this from here. If it wasn't me, it defaulted to me. So if I'm doing this, but I don't want the registration to be on me, I can change who this is. Probably not much of a reason to do that. Additional actions. We're going to come back to this because there's a lot of additional actions we can do here. Let's look at the registration. So you'll see that here's my 2 youth. Here's my 2 adults. So if I go to update information, and it tells you right here in red, checkout required, and then there's missing information. So the reason about checkout required, if you've used other registration systems, they tend to treat a registration as the whole, everybody. It doesn't matter who's actually going. It's just a number to them. In Black Pug, it treats each person as their own registration. And that means if one person was late on the payments, it doesn't impact everybody else. Everybody else, if they're paid on time, they get their discounted fees. The one person that was late doesn't. So with that, we always have to, put in our names or tie things into this because a campership can be applied to a person during registration here. And so it's important to have dealing with on the individual, and discounts apply towards the individual, not typically the unit as a whole. So 2 ways to enter their information. So I can go to this update information, and then it has the first, last, everything in red is required information. BSA number. This helps us to validate it. And when it's something like summer camp, when advancement is complete at the end of summer camp or any other program that does advancement, we can actually, at a council level, import that into your scout book for you so you don't have to enter it in. But for us to do that, we have to have the BSA member ID number. If you're using the roster, it will automatically throw that in there because we had it. So allergies, dietary ranks, birth dates when it becomes pertinent, right? In summer camp, there are some activities that are required based on ages, right? A lot of the shooting type programs you can't do if you're unless you're a certain age. Camperships, t-shirts, things like this. So things that we want to ask and fill out in here. Now, this roster button, there's nothing in this one because this isn't selected for that one. That's really just tying to your personal one. However, close that. If I go to autofill, it's bringing up my boy troop. I can search a name in here. And you see, it's only showing the youth because I'm on a youth registration. If I figured I was in the wrong one and I needed to switch, I can switch. But obviously, this is a boy registration. So I am going to pick on this one, click on fill, and it just updated it. Now, it did say there was something missing. So let's take a look to see what's there. So we got first, last, ID number, gender. We're not going to say there's any allergies. It's got the date of birth in there. Uh, oh, so nothing required is missing. But let's take a look how this next part works. So a campership. So if you're going to apply for a campership, or any of your scouts are, and we'll talk about how your families can take care of this themselves. So you would click on this box for yes, I'm applying. It tells you you need to do an application. So click on this, or you could have started right off with clicking here, but click on this to do the application. And it brings up the form for the application. Now, unfortunately, some of the information is redundant. Nothing that we can do about that because they are separate from this. It's not a direct tie into the registration, but it makes it easier on the registration. Makes it easier for us to assign them. What's he going to this year? Number of scouts attending. We're going to say two. Oh, no. I'll in college. Not yet. Two in the household. Two adults because I kind of count. Gross annual. Let's go with 90. Tells you can't get any more than 50%. How much are you requesting? Now, here's the interesting thing. I'm going to ask for all ish. Um, Family information, whatever you want to put in. Who is the parent or guardian? I understand that I'm being truthful. Who is the unit leader? We're just going to say me. I'm not, but we're going to do that. Okay, this is important because we do send information to them as well. So then I submit. Okay, it's been received. You can make a printout of this if you want for your own records of what you submitted. So can your family. I'm not going to do that right now. Okay, I am going to close this screen. A new tab had opened up for this campership. Okay, get off that. Now, let's see if I submit for this. Oh, look, there it is. Now you'll notice I said 600. It put 305. You can't ask for any more than half. So it doesn't matter if you put in more than half, it will adjust it to half. And if there's a t-shirt involved, uh, for example, Gorton this year is doing one free t-shirt. We're just going to call it that. You could purchase more. And I'm going to say done. And then take a look here. Lost them. Checkout required still. Checkout locks us in. It's not there until we actually do checkout, but there's a regular price. Council program pending. It means it was submitted, but it has not been approved yet. And then it gives you adjusted balance due. That way you can still work on payments, whether people come in and make small payments along the way, or the full thing at once. They can make it and know what it is based on what they're looking to do. The nice thing here is it also shows you the rank and that they are confirmed in the BSA. So kind of helps us out knowing that they are confirmed members. And we're just gonna pick on somebody else. And I'm not going anywhere else. Our adults are the same thing. We can just autofill. Whoops. You'll notice it put me down because I logged in. If I did this as a guest, it wouldn't have done this because it's not taking this. But because I logged in, it filled me in up here and it's assuming I'm one of the adults. But I can change that. I could just go here and I could change it to another adult if I wanted to. So we're just going to pick Jennifer. And you see it changed it right over. Um, what are we missing from here? Current YPT certificate. So this is, going to be there. I believe that this is coming out. But if you needed to upload a form, you click on that, browse, works just like any other player. And we're just going to pick on that. So it doesn't validate that it's there. It's something we look at later on. So if you were in here and you weren't quite ready, um, you could put something bad up there. Just make sure you do it later on because it's your responsibility. So done. And then we are going to autofill on this adult. This one we'll call me just so that we save that, just have all the same people in here. Update. And we're going to do the same thing with the protection file. Okay. So checkout still required. It's only holding all of this information for that long. At the end, it resets. So if you walked away from your computer, it goes there. Again, here we have the option for the attachments in case we forgot them and we're working on stuff. And we also have the event contacts as well. So we're going to continue on from here. And we're right back to that payment area again. So check out. I agree. And we're just going to keep all that. And authorize payment. Okay. So the other thing you would have, um, and now I say that I didn't build one of these, is since this handles at that time, each person individually, when this is done, so when you do a deposit and later on, it goes to the regular time frame, what you'll have is payments to allocate. There will be a big green button right over here that says allocate payments. And what that does is you put $100 down when deposit phase ends. Who is that money going to? It's, I've got right now in this unit, I have a bill of $1,620 minus the 305 for pending. Um, and then I have $100 that I have to allocate. So after deposit phase ends, when you go to log in and start naming people and stuff, it'll tell you have $100 to allocate, and you need to decide who gets that. You'll be able to put it across one person. You could spread it evenly among multiple people, or in any fashion you choose. The other time that happens is when you come to the office, and let's say I go down to the office tomorrow and I put $1,000 down. So we're going to put $1,000 onto camp or onto this registration. And next time you log in, you will have one that you have $1,000 to allocate. It's up to you to decide where that $1,000 goes. If you tell us, we can allocate it there. If you don't, and you just give us a check for $1,000 for Troop 84, then you have to go in and allocate that money later on. Now, whether you put it on one person or all is up to you. But really, the important thing is don't just give us $1,000 and assume it's covering the whole thing, because it doesn't. Right? We don't know if you wanted, in this case, let's say Coda and Jennifer to be covered. That's getting to be right 8, 10. So we add in Mark, that's over 1,000. So is he just $10 short, or was some of that supposed to go into Eric? you've got to tell us because again, if somebody's not paid off in full, it won't, they're going to have their late fee applied. So it's really important to go in and allocate the credit. That way you're saying where it goes. Now, if you go to the office and you pay in full, so if you were to pay the full amount of the 1620, then we will allocate it to everybody. It still will get allocated. It doesn't just get put 1620 on the event. We actually allocate it to all the individuals to cover their fees so that nobody has the late fees on there. Same thing is when this council program gets approved, when they go through and approve camperships, you will get a notification saying, hey, camperships are good. It is time, or you've been awarded, let's say $100. Didn't qualify for the 305, you've been awarded 100. This council program pending will be council program approved, and it'll adjust 100 and show you the new adjusted rate. So anytime you go in, you will be able to see this. Now, we want to take a look at those additional actions here real quick. So again, when you make this first thing with allocate, anytime you're dealing with money, you need to go through checkout when you're doing the allocation. Once you've done the allocation, it locks it all in there. When you're making changes to the information in here, you do not, because it's impacting that registration, but the registration itself doesn't have to be locked in. The information does, but it takes care of that on its own. So I'll make a quick change to one of the form things here. Depending on your camp that you're going to, merit badge sign up turns on at a specific time and date and time. So the system actually does it date and time. When that date and time comes, you would come back into your registration to make that change. And I just hopefully turned it on here. So let's update information. We're going to come to, well, we'll pick on Eric. Come here. And now, oh, look at that. The class schedule is now available. We can start signing up for things. Okay. So camp does have half payment for getting your merit badges in or signing up for it. And I was just turning that off. I forgot to turn it off. Okay. Let's go back, take a look for how we sign up for merit badges. So wait for my little canoe boys to get done. Update. Okay, we scroll down. So you would have looked at the course catalog already, hopefully. Have an idea of what you want. I would strongly encourage that when you do this, that you have 1, 2, 3, right? When I do it with my troop, I make sure all the kids give me choice 1, choice 2. So I know what they're looking for. That way, if I don't get into one, I hopefully get them to the other. Most merit badge classes are set up with a top class limit and then a wait list. So if it opens up later on, we can move them into it, which is a back end thing and you're notified of it. And we remove them from the first class. But when you're going in to sign up right now, you want to make sure you have something to put them into just in case they don't get it. So select classes. Here is what you've signed them up for. Here is all the classes that are available. It's going in order from period 1 on. You can jump the periods if you want. So I'm just going to start off with the first one. And really, it doesn't matter to me what I'm doing. So I'm going to put them in an archery. It gives you a brief description, which is the same as in the catalog. Really, really important. It tells you max number of people is 10, and there's 10 slots available. It's in green here. Where is it going to be? And other periods it may be offered in case you don't get that one. Kind of neat. Gives you a lot of information. So now you see it's moved from here to here, and it automatically moved me to what was next available. And it seems weird that it went from period 1 to period 4, but this is because this class runs multiple periods. It is a longer class, so it's not running the normal times. So this way you cannot double book an overlapping class on here. It's really nice the way the system's set up. It won't let you make that mistake as long as we set it up right. So then I'll put Eric in for this. We're going to put him down for cooking. Period 7, we'll put him here. Movie making here. And then some open areas if we wanted to pre-sign up with us. And you'll see that this one, as an open area actually has an additional fee of $5, which means we can sign them up now and pay for it now, as opposed to signing up a camp and paying for it at camp. But this has a requisite of an age, right? And he has not met the minimum age requirement. It tells you right there it's not, he doesn't have it, so it won't go in. Okay. I can't put him in on it. See, required age not met. So when I'm doing that, all I do is hit done. The little boy's in the canoe. He is saved. Now I can do all my other boys and girls, right? If I'm in with the girl troop, and that takes care of it. There is no having to go to checkout when we do merit badges. Now, let's say later on, it's like, that's not the one, or I needed to fix it. So I come back up here to update information on Eric. Scroll back down. You can see his schedule's all filled out now, and this is actually a report that you can get. But select classes is still here. So I can do this, and I didn't really mean to do this archery. He changed his mind now. Somehow he got that taken care of. You see archery just moved back over to here, and I got another period 1 class available now. So we're going to go with this one. And oh, wait a minute, because I did that, it's not 2 periods long. So that means he could do a period 3 class. Well, let's put him in for that. And our little boy's there, but now he's in for those. I can go, and if you're kind of wondering what you did here, view all classes, there is the catalog listing as a whole. I'm just scrolling really quickly. It's the catalog is what this is. But you don't have to have the catalog with you. You could actually look and up going, I know I saw this class on the catalog. Why am I not seeing it here? And then you can bring it up and say, oh, it's filled, or oh, it's an overlapping class. And so it took care of it for you. It kind of hit it. And then show class schedule if you really wanted to see, yep, I'm good there. And then click done. Now, those will become view only at a certain point. So at some time, each camp dependent, that will go from something that you can change to you can't change it anymore. And that is typically 2 weeks out. So at 2 weeks out, that becomes a view only. So you can see their schedule. You just can't update it anymore. So let's take a look at these additional actions, because these are really good. Oh, one more thing. This add session, if you're going to go for a second week of camp with your troop, you could just click add session. What session it's going to be, you can actually move certain people or all of them, and then you don't have to retype a lot of that information in there. It will actually copy your registration to the next session. It's a different registration. It's just copying a lot of the information for you so you don't have to retype it. Very handy if your unit uses more than a week. So additional actions. So you come back later on, and Timmy now wants to go on the camp out. I can add Timmy. Who's it? Who am I adding? Am I adding another youth, an adult? A new scout just crossed over. Hey, let's go with that one. And then add attendee. Now, where the changes to Eric on the merit schedule took effect, because it was just updating Eric, not the registration as a whole, I was good without checking out. You saw the message, though, because I added somebody to this registration. I have to check out to lock this individual in. So if this individual is inside of our roster, we could click on them and fill it in. Again, it wants you to look. When did crossover take place? We're just going to say it happened here. Done. And continue. And again, I can set another amount to pay. So if we still have to do the on summer camp. Not only was there the unit deposit, but whenever you add a scout going, there's a scout deposit as well. So you'll need to take care of their deposits on things. So those go in, but I can also pay other amounts at any time. I can come in, pay another amount, and just input who it is. So if Coda had given us the money and we were just putting it on the unit credit card and paying the 610, great. I could put the 610 right here and apply it. and it would be good. And then the minimum that's being due right now based on the things, and it's showing that because we haven't gotten credit for any of our deposits yet. So that's why it's showing more. And we're not going to because, I'm just doing pay by mail again. Okay. So anytime that you want to log into your event, um, and I am going to close out of here, come over to the calendar again, go to account login. I'm still logged in, or I could have just logged in. Going to go here. We have 84B is selected. So I want to view activity. Or I could have gone to view activity here. And look, here is the registration we were just doing. So I can select on that, view registration. And there is what I've been putting in. Now, from here, if I'm coming in just to make a payment, great, make your payment. Click here. Looks like the regular payment screen. I can get my reports. So my unit roster, how payments have been going. So if I want to have a report that I can hand out to people, if I want to run everyone's class schedule, a schedule by scouts, prerequisite by scouts. There's a lot of reports that we make available in here depending on the event. So you'll be able to look those up. But back here to participant, additional actions. So change participant type. So what that is for, and it's not used that often, right? Um, but let's say, oh yeah, this, I don't know why I was putting him in as a new scout. He's not a new scout. He was already here. I selected the wrong thing, my mistake. I can come and change that over, save it. Are you sure? And just click off screen. And look, it moved him up there. I didn't have to retype it. I didn't have to change. I didn't have to shoot Mark an email going, hey, we registered him wrong. Can you fix it? And again, that could have been a change of taking him and moving him to um the new scout too, right? It could go any way. So um edit billing information. So again, if I'm not the one paying the bills, I want to just make sure it's there, I can do that. Manage participant classes. So I haven't put in a schedule here. I haven't put in a schedule here. Oh, look, there is a schedule there. So it's really just kind of looking at these things. We can print blue cards if we want to, but it's really just looking at what did I get done? Did I miss something up here? And see there where it says click on the participant to change their class selections. So it took me straight in, as opposed to clicking on him individually. Parent portal I'll come back to. Payment history is just that. It's just how things have been going. And payment schedule is if there is a schedule set up on this, it tells you what it is and what the breakouts are. So late fees, things like that. So parent portal is awesome. I'm a big fan of this one, especially for summer team, or any of the other big things. So you can turn on not me, cannot do it for you. You can turn on parent portal at that box. What parent portal does is you can turn that on, and now the parents can come in. You've got to give them the access information, but they can go in and they can make payments on their scout or scouts, even themselves if they're one of your leaders. Um, you would just give them the information that they need, and we'll show you how to do that. And you can combine multiple people together. Well, they can do it. You can also have them answer the questions. So where we saw questions about like medical t-shirt sizes, things like that, you can have them fill that out. Hey, do you want to buy an additional t-shirt? Now, that could be on them. They can fill that on out. It's tied to their registration. You can have them fill out the campership form, right? Don't fill it out. It's not a required question. And then you can bypass that. Tell them if they want to do it, get it done by this time. So this provides all the stuff that can happen and how you use it. Um, Use parent portal, check the box. Here you can run out cards for Parent Portal. They print off as an 8.5 by 11 sheet that you can just cut on up. You can also print it out as an Excel, and it will give you a username and password along the direct link. Um, you could prevent them from making payments or seeing event fees. I don't know why you would. Um, Allow parent portal class selection. You can let parents do merit badge sign up if you choose to. We don't turn that on for them. You have to do that. If you don't check it, they will be able to see the schedule that you've put in, but they can't enter it. If you check the box, that means they can enter the schedule or modify it. That is purely a unit decision. Um, I will tell you in my unit, you do you. In my unit, we go over with all of our scouts what merit badges they're planning on taking. Make sure they've talked to their scoutmasters, they understand the challenges, the prerequisites, and all that. And then I tell all of my scouts, because I take care of the registration, I tell the scouts of my family that I am happy to put it in for them, but if they would like, they can do it. The benefit here is, depending how many scouts you're doing, classes can fill up very quickly when the registration system comes on. Everybody tends to get on at the same time. They're clicking as fast as they can. If another parent is on and they're taking care of their scout, that's one less I have to get and a better chance for them to get in that because I'm not knocking out seven scouts in order. So, but this is entirely up to your unit. We don't advocate one way or the other. It is a unit decision. You can also have those parents getting an email showing on payment data entry. So are they doing it and reminding them that they've got things to be able to do? So when you get this, we're just going to run the Excel one here real quick. Okay, I am going to change my share screen. Okay, so from here, what you're seeing is it's the event of that session one event data. None of that really matters. What it's really important for here is the participant, their name, user ID, password, and then the link. So I take this, I use the Excel version, and then I email my families with our scout book to give them that information. You could also run the cards, which have it on there, and then just cut up the cards and hand them out at a troop meeting. But the way that that is going to work when you give them that, there's nothing else there, just the URL. The URL has the stuff built into it. So change my share screen again. Okay. Moving to another tab real quick. So if I come here, paste that in, it took me straight to Eric McGrain. Now, if there was, if I have multiple kids or other adults that I'm paying for, I can link other people. I just need to know the username and ID. There was the attendee ID and the username, or I mean, sorry, the password. And you can put as many on these as you want, and then you deal with each one. So now that I have Eric, this just shows Eric, right? His price, program pending, balance due, but update information. See, right now, I can do all of that. But look, there's no class selection. Please see your unit leader to make class schedule changes because I didn't turn that on this one. But I can pick a t-shirt or an additional one. I can fill out, I would be able to fill out the Campership form, except we've already filled one out. But I can change all this other information that's on here. So this is a great way to have your parents be involved a little bit so you don't have to do it all. Or try to get back to them with some of that information. And same thing, even with your adult leaders, it generates an account for them. So, you don't want to have to look up their YPT dates or whatever. Get on there and make that their portal thing and tell them to take care of it. And your parents will always be able to see how much they've got owing going right here, and they can do a payment just the same. You could see it looks just like the same payment thing. So we're just not going any farther with that. All right. Excuse me. If somebody accidentally did it, you can always reset the attendee and change the password. So if for some reason people added somebody they shouldn't have somehow, you sent the list to everybody as opposed to filtering it out, you can reset the information on here. Um, I'm a big fan of it. I don't think enough people use Parent Portal. So I would strongly encourage that for the bigger events, Birch Bark, summer camp, day camps, Cub Adventure Camp, an overnight camp. I don't think I'd really use it for Klondikes or camporees, things like that. But, that's up to you. So that gives us all the information on there. You'll notice the one that wasn't there was deletion or refund. Because these are already booked under the individual and fees are being applied or even due by the unit, you'll have to contact the event chair or the staff advisor about why you need a refund. However, before doing that, none of this is locked until the event. Usually about a week to 2 weeks out from the event, you can't make changes. But let's say Lucas can no longer go. So I could go over to Lucas and we're going to pick him and Phil. And look, it changed it. So they could take care of payments between themselves. Like if this person already paid their balance, um, or any amount of money, they could transfer funds between themselves, however you work it on out. But as far as the unit goes, you can change the people, adults, youth, designations, usually 1 to 2 weeks out from the event. And it'll say it on the detail screen. So there is all the information there regarding event registration and how to use that system. So we're going to take a while I move over to site reservation, which is a lot shorter. If anyone has questions, now is a great time to pop them in or start shouting them out. And I will give it a minute as I get to site reservation. Questions, comments, concerns so far. We also use Black Pug, same system for rental. And you can find that. It won't be labeled Cam Thornton with the new website, but right now it is. Um, but right here is facility rental. Okay. So when you get to it, this is our facility rental system and has pictures of camp, has some of the rules about using camp. Nothing that you don't already know. It's all part of guided safe scouting. We all follow these rules as we do our unit campouts. What we have to do for a unit campout is the same as what we have to do for camping at one of the properties. Um, Again, you don't have to. I encourage you to sign in. It is the exact same sign in that you have already. You do not create another one for this. It is just here. And we're going to select this for 84 feet. Okay. So, kind of across, this is the homepage. Scouting properties. This is really kind of cool. You're traveling somewhere, Black Pug's used throughout the country. And right here is the red showing that these are managed by us. These camps are all managed by the facility rental system. So other councils are using this. And obviously, let's scroll out a little bit. You can find campsites all over the country. And there are some campsites that they don't work with, right? Um, but nice thing is you can click and it will bring you to their information. So if you're planning a trip, this is a great tool to use for this. So, um, yeah, kind of neat. So just going back, okay, you want to rent one of our areas. So this has all camps, but all camps and their availability. But for right now, we're just going to pick on Gordon. So I know we're going to go camp at Gordon, and all three work the same. So right up here is where we can reserve it, address, place where it is. If we're going to be there for the day, check in, check out time. If we're staying overnight, check in is at 6 p.m., check out is 11 a.m. And then we have some attachments, right? Like there's some maps. Image galleries, quick listing of facilities, camp use policy, check-in procedure, checkout, cancellation, cleaning. And it's just kind of slowly going through and giving you some information about camp, directions, and then here are our facilities. So you can take a look at the types of things. These are all cabins, right? Everything here is a cabin. You can view the picture gallery, see if there's more than one. Nice if there was. Whoop. Get down here, pricing. So you're all going to be a Five Rivers Council. Well, not Five Rivers, Great Falls Council, sorry. Tells you what the rental fee is. So $32 and then $1 per person. What kind of amenities it has in there. And then if you wanted to reserve it, click there. Now, you're not seeing anything available here because it will not let you reserve anything less than 2 weeks out. So if you didn't plan well and it gets to be less than 14 days prior to the weekend, it will not let you reserve. And our reservations are set up for the weekends. If that facility isn't available, you see it's X'd out, which means somebody's rented it then. This is Friday night to Saturday night, right? So not available. All this is grayed out, not available for some reason. But I could click here. And if I wanted to come in on Friday night, I can do that one. And when is it going to end? Kind of does nifty colors here for you, right? Showing you from the beginning to the end. So there's no confusion about what you're renting. Okay. And it added that to the cart. See? Came down here. It's there. You can see it's checked out here. Okay. So you'll see that breakdown for everything: cabins, Adirondacks, dining hall with kitchen, if it's available for you, packages, campsites, equipment, program area, multi use. Um, if you're going to go up there, you're not planning on staying, but you want to come up beyond property for hiking or large field games, things like that. This is where you let us know that you're going to be up there. And then the same things at the top are referenced down here at the bottom. Camp use policies, great area to look through, to be aware. This does all get emailed to you. But again, you can come here to reserve facility. So when do I want to reserve? All right. Now you see this one's not showing the grade out yet because it doesn't know what we're going to be at yet. It'll just make sure it's showing is not available yet. So it's just going to forward the calendar. So we're going to just jump this to, man, I think I did it there. What type of facility do I want? I want a campsite this time. Okay. Now, what campsite do I want? So, green, they're available. Black, they're not because we don't rent during the weekdays. So we're gonna pick Algonquin, and if I want some more information, oh, it brought me up more information on Algonquin. So same thing that I saw before, is just now I'm here. So I'll just go back. Oop. Okay, I want to reserve on the 6th. And what's my end date again? It's going to be the 8th. So I've got that and added an item in there. Okay, do this for as much as you want. If I wanted to get a Cayuga, because, got a lot of people coming with me, we're all set. Go for as much as I want. Click on the X, and then I come here to checkout. It is reconfirming what I am doing. Okay. So that Five Rivers Council, then it has what the rate is that we're doing, the pricing. Oh, that's not the date I wanted. I can change it right there. Hey, I really didn't mean to have two campsites. I really only wanted the one. I can remove it. And then I can continue to checkout. Now, look right here. Per person fees are calculated on the final screen. We haven't gotten that part yet, right? All right. So now you said you were an in-council unit and wants to know who you are. So because it's already tied into my stuff, I selected on my type of unit, I'm already there. Okay. It's an estimation. It's not locking this stuff in, but how many do I think is going to overall be there? 10, 5. It's filling it in, but am I putting all 10 and 5 in here? No. I'm going to go 5. Actually, no. You know what? We're going to do 5, 10. Oops. Get rid of this one. There's that. So we're going to put five adults in the cabin. Oh, wait a minute, I just did that backwards. Uh we're gonna put the youth in the campsite and the adults in the cabin. So when are we arriving? Earliest time is 6 o'clock. So you see, it's already got us here on the 6th as our arrival, right? But what time are you going to do? Hour, minute. This is what you've got selected. So again, it won't let you put things earlier. We're just going to say 7, be done there. What time are we leaving? It's going to be the 8th. And we are going to say 12. Okay. What's our planned activity? Pioneering. Good idea to have an idea of what's going on. Oh, wait a minute. Huh. Oh, that's right. The latest departure is 11 a.m. If you need to be later than that, then you need to contact the office to let us know and we can make arrangements about it. But other than that, no, I want zeros. Other than that, if you put an earlier time or a later time, you're going to get that warning message and it won't let you complete it. If you need something earlier or later, like an early check-in or not, or a later check-out, contact the office. We can make arrangements if need be. Okay. And then this is just going into who's the primary on-site leader, who is the additional on-site leader. You can add additional, look right up here. Since we have a roster selected, we can pull those people. Okay. Um, okay. Who is responsible for paying and the rules for that? And again, makes it nice that if it's one of these primary people that it's there, or if you've got, somebody who's just doing bill payment, you can do that in there. So we've got all that information in there. Go to next. Oh, we forgot to click next. Okay, we go down through all of our rules. Okay. Cancellation policy, we understand. Campsite usage policy, we understand. Then how much we're paying. And then, of course, I'm just going to do pay by mail on this one. Realize if you don't make your payment within 2 weeks of the reservation, we reserve the right to cancel out your reservation. So please, if you're going to do pay by mail, make sure that we get this. You also get an email, which will include a link to your reservation. You can access it from your view activity. So I'm in here. This is this. I can make a payment. I can make changes to my reservation as it is. So while it's here, you'll note I go to do this. I can still stick where I am, but what I don't, and add facilities to this. So if I didn't get enough, I can get rid of, I can add more of them on, which you'll know is you cannot switch from Algonquin to Cayuga. So this doesn't have the option of switching or editing it. You certainly cannot delete it. For anything like that, if you decided you didn't want Algonquin, you needed something else, you'll need to contact us or the ranger. And same thing if you need to get rid of a reservation for some reason, you'll have to contact the office for that. Um, so going up here, settings is just kind of setting up your stuff ahead of time, what you are. And I see I already had it set for that. So it knew it when I went in there. Um, Going to home brings us right back to this. We don't have any ratings yet because, the system's not on yet, but we appreciate your ratings. At the end, you would actually, after the campouts happened, you'll get a survey asking us how we did and how things were. So let's go back to Mark. Let's see, view activity. So year-round camping. What's this? Oh, there's my reservations. So summer camp, it's really weird to kind of think about this, right? Summer camp and activities is your events. Year-round camping is your rentals. So here's how you can always go back into your rentals and make changes. And again, here is the reference number for that. Click on it, view your reservation, and get right into it. Again, it just makes it easier if you give us that number if we need to make changes with anything in here. Just like it makes it a lot easier for us to find things if go to activities here, but this is the reservation number. It just makes things a lot easier for us working on the stuff if you send us this number as well. So here's all the information regarding using our system for creating a login, how we tie in your unit rosters to it, how we make payment or how you register for an event, how you make changes to the reservation, how you add people, how you sign up for camp or merit badges, how you make payments, how we allocate payments, how we reserve campsites and those things. Is there anything I hadn't covered or any kind of an outstanding question that you may have?
Mark, I just have one question.
Sure.
Is there some type, if you pay by credit card, is there some type of extra fee that you have to pay like you do when you register?
No, those are built. So yes and no. I mean, it doesn't add a 3% onto your thing. Those are actually built into registrations. So I don't want you to think that you're not that the council's absorbing the cost. They're built into the rental prices or built into the
Okay.
event prices. So you do not get a convenience fee added on by paying online.
Okay.
Okay. With that, I thank you for joining us tonight.